Hello guys and welcome to another video here on Xerxes BTS, and today we are doing a commentary on LEGO Zombie Apocalypse Season 3 Episode 5 titled Consequences. So here we see David's dad talking to David, and he's lecturing him about not being a good man, and he's kind of ashamed of his own son. So but he is proud of his other son, David's brother, Edward Coulson. And he actually appeared in True Warriors. He was the main protagonist in that. That was the first FLBU video of mine. And so here we see David training to become a better man. He's doing sit-ups, and you see him growing up. If you look closely, he's getting older and older and better at the pull-ups, sit-ups. And here is the grave of Edward Coulson. So David's brother has died, as you may know. If you've seen True Warriors, you know he's dead. So he died there at the end of that mission. And this is his grave. And David is standing there, and he tells him that he was the better man, but the worst survivor. Obviously, because he's dead now, and David is still alive. So here we see David shaking hands with Henrik Wolf, the new president. And it's funny because later on, David actually kills Henrik. But this is when he first gets the job at the science department to make the zombie virus, because, David made the zombie virus. And this is the science department. And basically, David is here creating the zombie virus, and he's very proud of it. It's the best thing he's accomplished in his life. Here is finished. And here he's looking, and this is a sort of a little Easter egg. If you look closely, this is a zombie standing behind a glass, but it's also sort of a reflection of David, because it mirrors how he was in the past. This is, his younger self. If you look back, can we go there? Yeah. This is what he looked like in the past. And then this is what he looks like now. So it's sort of a reflection, of his own self. And, what he's had, what he's become. And, But it's just a reflection, It's not like his younger self is actually alive. So here we have a shot of David and the zombies in the background. The zombies are complete, so the zombie apocalypse can begin. And now David has created Team Zero. This is Team Zero. We go back. His team, they have appeared in all of Season 3 so far. So this is where the intro starts. It has a filter on it, because we're going into the deeper and darker episodes. Sort of, but like last episode, that also had a filter. And I want to just experiment with the intro a bit more. Alright, here is the beginning of the actual episode. This is the headquarters, the HQ of the scientists, shot from the outside of the base. Here we have Cortez taking Scott to the interrogation room, and Scott is wondering where they're going. He's kind of scared. And now Cortez will start interrogating Scott. He wants to know all the details, if he can trust him or not. And he just tells him that his name is Scott. He lived in a little outside of Aster City, which is the suburbs, which is also where the zombie virus was released. Not in the main parts of the city, but in the suburbs it was released. So that actually makes sense. He also says that he was just driving with Jonathan, his friend that died last episode, and he drove against a rock, so that's why their car flipped and they were in trouble. And it made a lot of noise, so zombies came towards them, and the rest of the story. And now he asks if he would be willing to work for them. Cortez asks if Scott would be willing to work for them, and Scott is very confused. He's like, this is a zombie apocalypse, why would you work for anyone? It's every man for themselves, sort of. And It's not just things weren't like they used to be. And Cortez gets pretty angry, at this. As you can see, he's walking towards him and he smacks his head against the table. And he starts bleeding. And Cortez is lecturing Scott here. Because, he's pretty angry still. And now we see Philip with some cards. And he asks Tom if he want to play some cards. So they start playing cards. And this basically transitions into Philip's flashback. Which starts here. So 5 months ago, before the apocalypse, a truck is driving. You don't know why the truck is for, but if you look closely, there's someone on the truck. And here is Philip and his men. They're all sort of road pirates. They do jobs for people, steal stuff, kill people, all that sort of business. And they're forming a sort of roadblock for the car. So this guy shoots at the car, so the car crashes. And as you can see, this guy, hey, it's Bard. Who would have thought Bard would have come back? Because this is a flashback. They're being surrounded. And another known guy. This is Charles. He was only in one episode, After Hell. He was with Philip and Bard in that. And he got killed. But yeah, this is Charles. So, new guys. And so here, Philip explains why he wants the truck. Because there is something in the vault. The truck is carrying a vault. And Philip needs what's in the vault. So, here is another road pirate talking to him. And Charles is convinced. Now he's going to open the vault. You see, he pushes the button, and the vault opens, and bam, zombies are coming out. So basically, the vault was containing zombies. And all the road pirates are getting infected by the zombies, There are a lot of them. They're all getting annihilated here. Zombies running towards them. So this basically takes place in the wasteland. So this is how the zombies actually got out far into the wasteland, because they were carried by a truck, and they got released there. But there is a shot here. So this is basically a sort of also kind of works into After Hell, because as you can see, Philip is here with Charles and Bard. So, and that is basically where After Hell starts. This is the three of them looking for looking for rations, looking for stuff, weapons, food. So basically, this is what led up to After Hell, And here we're back in the present time, and Roxanne is finally going to talk to her sister. She's not a guy, she's a she. Because I realized they hadn't talked all season, sort of, and I thought some dialogue would be good between the two. And Alice is really angry at Roxanne, so that's why they haven't talked, why she's been avoiding her, because she created the virus, and, that's what led to all the crazy stuff that they're in now. And she's really angry on her for that. And she lectures her a bit there. And she says that she had been recruited by a guy, and that she would get a lot of money if she created a virus. So that basically explains her point of view. So she needed the money, and she would get a lot of money if she created that virus. So she chose to create the virus, but she didn't think of it very well. Obviously, she didn't think of the consequences. So yeah, stuff still isn't really resolved between the two. Still kind of bad blood. And here we see Gregory running up to them, and he says that he has a plan to get everyone out of there, away from the scientists. Break out of the scientists' headquarters, because they're kind of sick of Cortez and working for him and stuff. Because it's caused them a lot of trouble. Abraham has died. They've almost died a couple of times. They're not getting any rest, and they're just not free to do what they want. And So basically, he tells them to come with him. Here we have Cortez coming out of the interrogation room from interrogating Scott, and he basically says here that Scott's not going to be useful to the scientists, to them, and so Logan proposes to take Scott downstairs to the lab, which is basically where all the experiments are being done by the scientists. It was seen in episode 1 last year, when that came out, and Gregory was being operated there, So the lab contains a lot of secrets. Alright, so here we have a shot, and we see Team Zero moving out, and they're in the wasteland running towards something, we don't know what. And all teams there, and they're killing zombies here. So here we have a shot, and this is all in the wasteland. And here David tells them to move, but where to? And as you can see here, they're at the scientist base. This is the gate that was seen in the previous episode as well. So basically, they got the tracker on their car, as you may know from last episode, so they know the location of the group of the scientists, and they're just still trying to find the cure and destroy that. And so as you can see, they've made their way to the scientist base, and now they're just going all in and going to kill everyone in their way to get to the cure. So here Cannibal slits the throat of that guy, and he jumps into that guy. Scientists are shooting at Team Zero, but they have the healing factor, so that's why their wounds are healing. And they shoot back. Obviously, Team Zero, their scientists are not a match for Team Zero. So they're all killed off. They choose that guy. And this guy shoots at the gate, so the gate opens, and they go further into the base. Because this is just the outside gate. They haven't reached the actual base yet. They have to enter that still. But now, they're getting really close. So here, we have Logan taking with him a zombie. And if you look very closely, this is the zombie that was also seen in Lego Zombie Virus. So the actual first zombie ever created. It was created by David. He was in Lego Zombie Virus, yeah. And his name was Jacob Miles, I think. And so he's also in this, and it's a coincidence, really. Or is it fate? Is it destiny? You never know. And, so he's back. He's lost his hair because all zombies lose their hair eventually, after some time. And, apparently Cortez asks for a zombie, and Logan asks why we need a zombie. And he explains that he has found a way to reproduce a serum, so maybe they can stop the apocalypse. And because the virus was the cure was just one bottle, this bottle over here. And so now they have found a way to reproduce that. So this was only for 3 people, but now they can use it on a whole bunch of people. And so maybe even enough to stop the apocalypse. So they're going to test if it works and inject this zombie, Jacob, and see if it works. And here you can see, he wakes up, it sort of works. I voiced the zombie here, hey, fun to do. And here you see him turning again into a human. So obviously, the cure worked, and that's a good thing because that means they can stop the apocalypse. Logan is very baffled, Cortez is happy, and they stop the apocalypse. It's a good thing. And Logan gets happy, he actually smiles here for the first time this season, ever. We've seen him. Here we have the last scene with Gregory talking to all of his people, to the group, the familiar faces, and he has a plan to get them all out of there. Sort of a prison break, if you may. And some people are happy about it, like Philip. But people like Panther aren't happy about it because he thinks it's just going to be a carnage. If they try to get away, they'll be killed. Or if they get into the wasteland is very dangerous. And they'll get killed there. So he thinks it's just safest if they stay here and the scientist base. And yeah, so he's not planning on getting away. And Tom agrees with Panther, but Alice really wants to get away, and James wants to get away too. But Panther keeps on saying that it's not safe and that they should stay here. Philip wants to get away too, and now Steve gets angry for involving the Lord and Savior. And here Gregory tells them to shut up, but we hear some rumbling, and there's an explosion. Now what caused this explosion, I cannot say what. You will find out in the next episode, which is the finale. And yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.